We covered yesterday the based border control in Spain that's doing a Leonidas, but I wanted to go back to this because it's getting even funnier in my opinion, and it also ties in with what's going on around the world. So first thing here is just I quoted this. I didn't think I had the link up, so we're going to do it again. So this is Douglas Murray's article for The Spectator, in which he's writing in 2016. EU officials find that most of the refugees are not refugees. What a mess. So he says in here, even EU officials are now finally admitting that a lot, or rather most, of the people who we have been calling refugees are not refugees. They are economic migrants with no more right to be called European citizens than anyone else in the world. Even Frans Timmermans, Vice President of the European Commission, made points this week. In his accounting, at least 60% of the people who are here are economic migrants who should not be here. They are from North African states, such as Morocco and Tunisia, he told Dutch television. There are people that you can assume have no reason to apply for refugee status.
They're
60%.
people from practically the only stable Muslim countries in the world.
Like North Africa there, the West North Africa part. It's like,
the only parts of the Muslim world that aren't generally infested with jihadis or civil wars. And they're like, yeah, we're a refugee from that place.
well, they've still got jihadis.
Well, of course they do. Yeah.
But, you know, part of the deal, I guess.
I suppose it is, yeah.
But 60% of those who came in 2016 being the migrant crisis, utterly pointless, and it's exactly the same. So we go back to Spain for the next link, which is just them saying here, Spain sends troops as 8,000 migrants enter the enclave. Same situation.
Yep.
You know, probably a higher percentage of these folks, because there's no war to run from, like Syria. There's just them coming from all over Africa and the Middle East because they feel like it. They've been told that Europe's paved with gold and they're going to come.
You know what's really interesting is historically it takes about 10,000 men to conquer Britain. So just saying, 8,000 migrants, quite a large number.
Yeah, which is why you got to send the military in.
It is. And,
Base Spain.
Look at the dude in the with the mask. Yep. Lessons are about to be learned.
We're going to talk about that in a minute because the framing of this is disgusting. So if we go to the next one, this is just like the BBC's reporting on it. So Spain migrants, I said goodbye to my family and left them with nothing.
That seems really irresponsible.
Shut up.
Hang on. No. Let's dally on this for a second. Right. So you're a 25, 30-year-old man.
30, Mohammed is.
30, Mohammed, right? So you're a 30-year-old man. You're living in a country where you're saying, oh, it's war-torn, it's rough.
He's
and you're
from
like,
Morocco.
Oh, he's from...
So there is no war.
Okay, so there's no war, but you're like, even then, right? You're a 30-year-old man, you're just living your life, and you're like, you know what? Bye. Where are you going? Where are you going? I'm just going to try and break into Spain.
I'm off to Paris.
Yeah. I just fancy it. Well, what about us? Yeah, what about you? Good question.
Yeah,
Don't know what you can do. Good luck.
That quote there said Mohammed, a 30-year-old from Morocco.
Mohammed, an irresponsible bastard from Morocco. Carry on.
Yep, that's correct. Speaking to Spanish broadcaster RTVE, he gave details of how he had joined a record number of migrants who have illegally entered Spain's North African enclave of Ceuta since Monday. Like many, he said employment was his main reason for trying to make the crossing. Then go home.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I don't care if you want a job in Spain. You have no right to be in Spain.
Why does he think that the Spanish owe him a job?
They don't.
If I can break into your country, you'll give me a job.
No foreign country owes you anything.
Yeah.
That goes for everyone on this planet. You have no right to someone else's land.
And it turns out that the Spanish are like, no, we're going to give you a beating.
That's the correct thing to do, though.
Yeah, it is.
They have borders, and to uphold your borders, you have to use force.
I mean, if you really
if you say, we have borders, you cannot cross this without a good reason and must go through the legal process.
Yeah.
Or else what?
Or else you get a beating.
Exactly.
And thrown into the sea.
We will use violence against you. And just Mohammed here, bad guy. Just horrible bad guy. No, you cannot just break into someone else's country because Gibbs' job.
This is Hispania. But seriously though, like if you were acting in good faith, you'd apply through the legal channels. You'd be like, look, can I come and live in Spain? Yeah. I'd like to work
also,
over
you
there.
quite like me. I've got these skills.
Yeah,
I can do this.
I have something to offer. Or you can break in.
Like, you want job, but your job's going to be a criminal. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah,
because that's how you're starting the relationship. That's how it's going to go on.
Yeah, I don't see why anyone would expect any kind of good faith response.
So
I wouldn't expect it. If I was literally like climbing over the fence for another country's border, and then they would caught me, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm just here for a job. I wouldn't expect them to believe me.
Here's my job application. Again, we have to take his word for it. Which so Mohammed told RTVE in Spanish that he had taken a taxi with his cousin and some friends before swimming the 30 minutes to reach Spain's territory. On the way to the border, they were stopped by Moroccan authorities, he said, but they let us continue. It was like a yes and a no. A Moroccan government minister has implied, there's a reason for this, the Moroccan government minister has implied that his country relaxed border controls this week in retaliation after a top militant opposed to the Moroccan rule over Western Sahara was allowed hospital treatment in Spain last month. So for people who don't know, there's a conflict going on in a conflict, I don't know what it is at this point, but Western Sahara wants to be independent, the Polisario Front are fighting for that, and the Moroccan government says no, this is Moroccan territory. So one of the militants went to Spain, got hospital treatment, because what does Spain give a toss? Some foreign conflict. Injured man, we have a hospital. That simple. And in response, Morocco's like, right, screw you, we're just going to send thousands of men to your border.
Here's an army.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is another foreign conflict I don't give a toss about on either side, but not really reason to effectively declare war on Spain here.
But it is proof that weakness is provocation.
So there's an interesting interview they do in here with a Spanish lady. Mercedes, a woman in her 60s, explained that she felt sorry for the kids who didn't even have clothes, but she banged the table in anger when she told us that the migrants were let through the border every time Morocco wanted money or something from Spain.
Base Mercedes, but what kids? What are you talking about, kids?
I haven't
All of
seen
these
the kids.
adult men.
You can see
all
that
of them.
chap there.
If you can scroll up again, John, just get the other photo, the one above it. Right, you can see. Look at this. Where are the kids? These are all 20 to 30 something men, and they're all just chancers, obvious chancers.
So
I can't stand it.
what's interesting is the European Union is backing Spain.
Good.
Funny how that happens. Like, as soon as there's an actual threat, they're like, no, close the borders. So, yeah. It's almost as if Brexit had that point right.
Yes.
So European officials have supported Spain's response to the border crossings, with the EU commissioner telling Spanish Radio Europe that he will not be intimidated by anyone on the issue of migration. Moroccan Minister for State and Human Rights has quoted as saying, "What did Spain expect from Morocco, which sees its neighbour hosting the head of a group which took up arms against the kingdom?"
There we go.
So you're just like, we're just going to stop and force the border. Here, thousands of men invade Spain. Yeah, I don't think that's a proportional response. Sorry. So we go to the footage. So the first one here is just some footage, the next link. So of them scaling the wall. So if you scroll down just so we can see these. I'm not going to play the audio from these because, I don't want to, it's just going to be Arabic noises anyway. So you can see them scaling it there. The next one is just randos running through the streets. So you scroll down here. It's just people running.
I'm amazed there aren't militias of Spanish men armed with bats to just catch them and club them and throw them out.
Well, if you're listening. Well, what's the problem? What are the military going to say? Bad job? No, they'll be like, thanks for that.
How dare you defend your own homes?
Yeah. So the next footage is of the chaps who didn't do nothing, throwing stones at the police, because they're just wonderful chaps who are here for a job. Just
They're
keeps job.
already throwing stones at the police. They've broken in, they've been here 5 seconds, and they're chucking stones at the police. Why would you want these people in your country?
I'm just here for job. Just job.
Honestly.
That is all. And of course, the fawning for these poor refugees who have come from war-torn.
Stop
Somewhere.
throwing stones, Jesus.
It's so pathetic. Like the video evidence. This is what I love about the 21st century, the invention of the internet and there being cameras everywhere. Is this leftist nonsense you find in the media just instantly gets destroyed?
Just quick,
by
dude,
the video
pick up
evidence.
another stone. The police haven't had the message hard enough yet.
Yeah. So if we go to the next one, this is the BBC's reporting on it, which is devoid of reality.
Oh yeah.
Just the photos that captured Spain's attention. So the first photo here, one photo shows a volunteer from the Spanish Red Cross comforting a migrant above on a beach in Ceuta. The young woman, identified as Luna, told Spanish TV she did not know the man's name, only that he came from Senegal.
Is there a war in Senegal?
No.
Oh.
It's also a democracy.
So it's also one of the best places in Africa.
It's had, one of the best free elections, handovers of power.
How's the economy? Communist?
No, it's good.
Oh.
Anyway.
Right, okay. But just before we move on from this, right, I watched this video and we should have got it up. This video is massive cringe, right? Because he's just sat on this rock and she comes over and she feeds him some water. She's pouring it into his mouth. It's like he's an adult. He can literally just...
As if he's 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's just sat on this rock. He's not incapable of feeding himself. And then she gives him a hug and starts stroking his hair like I would for one of my children.
She wants to be a white savior.
She wants to be a white savior. She should be doing this to children, right?
Oh, no,
But
sorry. We are in the wrong here.
Yeah, but
No, we are in the wrong, because after the image of the encounter was shared widely online, the 20-year-old said that she had been bombarded by sexist and racist comments and had decided to protect her social media accounts.
Okay.
I don't believe it for a second. I bet people were just like, no, this is obvious nonsense.
Probably, yeah.
So,
But he was crying. I held out my hand and he hugged me. And then you started caressing his hair. And it's like, oh my God, what are you doing?
yeah.
Like, this is not an animal. Like, you're treating...
I found this deer in the woods.
Well, no, that's
The black guy's like, stop touching me.
No, that is exactly how she treated him. Like he was an injured child or an animal or something she'd discovered, and she was taking care of and petting. It was gross. Like she was not treating him like he was a human being.
So the Spanish left backed her. So, but news of the backlash prompted other users to thank her with the hashtag Gracias Luna, which almost 50,000 times on Twitter. Hashtag Gracias Luna was representing the best values of our society, responded Spanish Economic Minister Nadia. Spanish name.
Treating blacks like animals is the best values of Spanish society, is it? Well done, leftists.
Oh, boy. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be a socialist minister as well, because the socialist prime minister in government. So, well, another minister described the photo as a symbol of hope and solidarity, and yet you still sent the military there. Isn't that interesting? You're sat in Madrid with your little cups of teas and your nice.
Yeah. Well,
rich
no, they
neighborhood.
don't have cups of tea.
Oh, sorry, I don't know. I don't know what Spaniards drink.
I don't
I don't know. You're sleeping in Madrid.
know. Wine?
You're having your afternoon nap and then your morning nap and your lunch nap, and yeah, you're just enjoying it. Occasionally waking up to tweet, "Oh, isn't that wonderful?" And then you go back to sleep after sending the military to the border. Funny, isn't it? Isn't it funny?
Not
Anyway.
my problem. Therefore, I get to be as progressive as I like.
Yeah, so we go to the next picture, which I think you showed. This is called The Rescue. Another photo which captured Spain's attention was Juan Francisco Valle, who had been hailed as a hero after rescuing a baby from the waters off Ceuta.
Who threw a baby into the water?
Like, are we really so fucking... sorry, I should have swore. But are we really so stupid that we're expected to believe that this child, this little baby here, that looks, I don't know, one, maybe? Crawled off
even.
and chucked herself into the sea.
There's no way this baby can move unassisted.
It's so stupid.
Look,
like, I'm sorry. I can't get over how the BBC puts this in front of you and is like, oh, look at this guy who saved the baby from the sea. Who put her in the sea?
My son is about the same size as that baby, about 5 months old, I'd say. He can't crawl yet. That's way, it's still a couple of months off from crawling. There's no way that baby can move unassisted.
Look at the description there. The child was completely soaked and very pale. Yeah, I wonder who did that.
Yeah. Who throws a baby into the sea? God damn it.
I hate it. So the
But
next...
I really wanted that job in Spain.
Yeah, also the baby looks white.
Yeah. John, you're right. The baby does look also white, which means it's not a Spanish baby.
I'm here for a job. Let me throw my baby
Yeah,
in the sea.
exactly. I just really want a job in Spain. So
Yeah.
how many babies do you have to chuck into the sea to get a job in Spain? That's the question, right?
Sorry, John said it's probably Luna's. I've just got this image of Luna, like with her baby, chucks that into the sea and then grabs it back. What a mess.
Well, that is progressive moralism, isn't it? I mean,
So the next image is called The Violence, and not all the photos from recent days were positive, says the BBC.
How is this not positive?
This image, taken after Spanish troops were deployed to the border area, shows a soldier hitting a migrant. How is that not positive? That is entirely positive. This guy's broken into your country, or else, remember, or else what? Or else what? You have to use force. You have to use violence.
Broken into your country, possibly thrown a baby into the ocean. I think he deserves this.
You've got to be kicked out. Grab the man, hit him with a baton if he disobeys. We don't know the circumstances of this because there's no full footage, but you can see like the sand's moving there, so presumably he's coming quick. And it's like, no. I'm disgusted that the BBC presents this being like, oh, the disgusting Spaniards, how dare they do this, and then goes back to sleep as well because the people working in Westminster.
I'm disgusted that the BBC thinks that upholding law, order, and your national borders is not a positive thing.
Awful people. So just the fact that, force is what enforces rules. Without force, you have no border. And the force here is this man saving Europe from having no border.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what crimes this man has already committed? Who knows what crimes he would go on to commit? We don't know anything about him. Don't even know his name because, of course... That's a base take, John, but we're not going to read that out. But that's the thing. We know nothing about the guy, but now we're condemning the officer who's doing his job.
Yeah, literally saving Europe here from having no borders.
Yeah.
That's entirely his job.
From an
He's
invading
carrying it
army
out.
of 8,000 men.
Anyway, let's go to the next image. So the next image here is just something someone made, which we requested, and I thank you very much that you did make this. So it's Viva España, if we can get this up. So this is the border policy in Spain now. God, that's wonderful.
North Sentinelese border policy. We salute you.
Viva España. Oh, man.
Consider yourselves learned.
Very rarely do we get to praise the Spanish in England. There's not really much.
Yeah.
Like, we're usually too busy dunking on the French, but yeah, good chaps. Bienvenido. Anyway, so if we go to the next one here, so just the hugging of the Senegalese migrants that we mentioned. So this is another image, so you can see it here, and it's as you say, he's cringe. But Senegal, this chap's from. Senegal.
I just love it. What was your terrible oppression that you had to flee from? I just really wanted a job in Spain.
Yeah, so if we go to the next one, it's just Freedom House, because I don't live in Senegal. Let's just see how free Senegal is. And they describe it in here. Senegal is one of Africa's most stable electoral democracies, has undergone 2 peaceful transfers of power between rival parties since the year 2000. However, politically motivated prosecutions of opposition leaders and changes to the electoral laws have reduced the competitiveness of the opposition in recent years. I don't think that chap's a member of the opposition or an opposition leader, just having a guess.
I'm a refugee politician.
So, the country is known for its relatively independent media and free expression, though defamation laws continue to constrain press freedom. I don't think he's fleeing that either.
Also, that sounds kind of based.
Other ongoing challenges include corruption in government, weak rule of law, and inadequate protections for the rights of women and LGBT people. Well, those first two, that happen everywhere.
Yeah.
And, apparently it is illegal to be gay in Senegal, so maybe he's gay. In which case, if we just load the next map, you can see where Senegal is and where Spain is over there. Bloody miles away. So, you could see below there Guinea-Bissau. You just go to the next one, just Guinea-Bissau. You could go there if you want. Being gay is legal there.
Oh,
Instead
is
it
it?
came to Spain.
Really?
So,
how is it in Mauritania or Western Sahara?
I think
or
it's illegal
Morocco?
there because it's all Muslim.
Because you'd have to go through these 3 countries. Yes, exactly, Muslim countries.
So he decided to go for the 3. So he's not gay. I mean, there's not.
So he went, he went through the 3 most dangerous countries he could find to get to Spain.
So it's just Gibbs' job. That has to be the only motive. In which case, get lost. Get lost. You have no right to be here than anyone else. And if we're going to accept the premise that if someone wants Gibbs' job, can be in Europe, well, congratulations, you've invited most of the planet. Is that what you want? No, of course not. So, if we go to the next one, which is just if this could matter to you. So this is a lady here who they went on holiday, and then when they got back to Calais, someone just got into her box. Again, someone from Sudan, so one of these chancers that has gone through several free countries, non-war, and decided, nah, just gonna,
Not a refugee.
he's in France as well, and then he's like, nah, I want to go to Britain. Why? Gibbs' job.
A criminal, illegal immigrant smuggles himself in.
Yeah, and this screws over British holidaymakers. The family drove through a holiday in Spain and found a migrant in their roof box, and then were fined for bringing him back to the UK.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah, that's just a cherry on top. Yeah, by the way, we're going to fine you for
Yes,
this.
they were fined £200. So, I mean, this is something in case you're wondering if you're British. Yeah, this will affect you.
Well, we didn't
Not to
want
mention
him
the chaps
there,
you
you
break
know.
in. So, the next thing here, just going back to Britain, so the Sikh migrants that we spoke about.
Oh, yes.
Remember this? The leftists
Remember,
let down.
how could the Scottish government arrest these people on Eid, the Muslim holiday? They're brown, therefore they're Muslim.
Not Muslim. They're Sikh.
Don't care about Eid.
But okay, SNP. Bunch of racists.
You
So-
literally can't tell the difference, can you? They
Both-
all look alike, don't they? Look, they're wearing turbans. They must be Muslims. Oh, wait, Muslims don't wear turbans. Sorry.
So both Sikhs originally from India were arrested on suspicion of immigration offences in Edinburgh, having lived there in the UK without leave to remain for 10 years. So they'd come over, the leave to remain had expired, and they just were like, nah, screw you. We're not going to go home. We're just going to break the law and live here illegally. I've got no sympathy. I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
I've met people like this, and I'm just like,
Deport.
you're awful. No, go and get the right to remain. It's that simple. You have no right to be here.
Yeah, no,
So-
absolutely. Any illegal immigrant anywhere should be deported as soon as they are discovered to be an illegal immigrant. There's
Yeah.
just no question of it. Go home.
So one insider in
Very quickly, there's in like a load of leftist Facebook groups I'm in, there's been a picture that's been going around in all of them where they're really offended because there was a bunch of illegal immigrants that were caught somewhere or other, and Priti Patel was there at the arrest, and they were like, I can't believe, why is she there watching? I'm like, maybe because she's based, I don't know.
It's her fetish. That's
Yeah, exactly. Maybe she gets off on it, or maybe she's just, having a photo opportunity showing that, look, we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, but I also just love how she's smiling in all the images. There's something about it. Anyway, so one insider in the Home Office told The Times, they will still be detained and deported at a later date. We will continue to tackle illegal immigration and the harm that it causes.
Good.
So they're still going to go after them. They just get lost.
No amount of leftist objection will get around
Yeah.
that, hopefully.
In response, Scottish Justice Secretary Humza Yousaf, the white man, has blamed the Home Office for its reckless action, while First Minister Nicola Sturgeon attacked the appalling asylum and immigration policy. The policy here being sending illegals home. That's
So
the
they don't
policy.
want Scotland to have any borders. Okay.
Yep.
We will rebuild Hadrian's Wall. We will force a border on Scotland.
Unlike New Zealand, who have done base thing, so let's go to New Zealand.
Oh, yeah.
New Zealand to cut low-skilled immigration, refocus on the wealthy.
That's right. I'm a progressive.
I love it. It's always the
Get
virtue
out, poor
signaling.
people. Get out.
But for themselves, they're completely different policy.
You're not coming to our basically white ethno-state with your lack of money and lack of skills. Get out.
So the last thing here is Biden's migration crisis as well. So this is just the newest data we have here. So if you can scroll down, there's a graph, and you can see the blue line there being the highest one. That's the Biden administration coming into office in January, and you're seeing the peak up there, bigger than anything else that has come previously. And we know, as you have demonstrated, you asked them on the border, why are you here? It's because of Biden. There's a change of administration. But if you scroll down some more, you can see the FY comparison by demographic at the bottom there. And you can see the big jump. The big jump there is not from the single minus. You can see that's pretty much going down over the years. The FMUA, so Family Migrant Unit of Aliens, so that's a family unit, that's gone down. It's adult singles in your area. Sorry, it's the adult singles.
Well, unfortunately, they are going to be in your area if this carries on. So this is why you need a border policy, incidentally.
But it's just so basic as well. Like, why have you come? Because of Biden. Who's coming? It's a bunch of adult males who are single. Because it's the same everywhere.
Again, I stress
adventurous.
They're adventurous. That's exactly what it is. They think they're going to get something out of it. It'll be an exciting adventure. Who knows what will happen? It'll be fun. This is what young men sign up for. They've always done this from time immemorial. Young men have always signed up to adventures. And it's always been this way, and it always will be this way. And this is just the modern manifestation of it. Because for some reason, the left is so unbelievably secure that they think that everyone else is just a good, kind soul, and of course, it's not going to be my problem. I mean, I have these arguments with like leftists online. They're like, "Oh, well, we should definitely take in these refugees." And it's like, "Well, how many are you taking?" I'm like, what? None. It's like, well, there we go. Shut up. Or they'll be like, "Oh, well, the royal we are taking like 100,000 or whatever." It's like, no, we're not. Yeah. That's someone else's problem. It's not your problem because you live in Surrey.
But I just wanted to end this with a message for the Conservative Party. You know that there's a lot of anger about the illegal immigration with the boats and whatnot. Send the military in. Just to send a message, if nothing else, because messages work. The Danish learned this the easy way of just saying we were going to do X, Y, and Z, and then the migrants didn't come. And when the EU turns around and is like, "Oh, how could you do this?" Point to Spain.
Oh,
because they've already endorsed what Spain's doing.
I thought you meant send the boats to the EU. Well, what about the migrants?
What are they going to say? What are they going to say? Oh, you can't do this. It's like, well, why is it happening in Spain?
Yeah, Spain's patrolling their borders. Why can't we patrol our own?
Feel no guilt about this. It is the right thing to do. If you want a border, you have to use force. You'll have to use violence, because without violence, there are no rules.
If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.